Hey guys, it's Brandon here from Theme Park Predictions and More, and I have some pretty sad news out of Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and that is apparently Mock Tower is not going to be operating very much longer in the park. And as far as timing goes, I believe that come January, the ride will be closed forever. Now I find this very intriguing and very odd because this ride is built by Mosier Rides and it opened in 2011, which is like 12 years ago. So the lifespan of the ride is definitely very short. So why would Busch Gardens Williamsburg really want to tear this ride down so quickly? Not only are you going to hear about my predictions as what type of ride I think could replace Mock Tower, but I'm also going to kind of speculate on just a crazy idea that I don't think it could happen, but like what if it could happen? So stay tuned for that. Also, before I really get into this, you have to check out themeparkmerch.com for all my merchandise that I created and designed myself. So be sure to check it out. I really do appreciate all the support for the channel. Now, let's get into this. Now, I've personally been on Mock Tower a few times, and while it's not my favorite drop tower, I really do enjoy it. Obviously, the views of Busch Gardens Williamsburg down below are the best part of the ride. The drop is decent, not great, but I really do enjoy the onboard audio that you do get as you're going up the tower. It really adds a nice little something different than your average drop tower. Another very unique feature about Mock Tower that I really do like is during the winter event, Busch Gardens actually takes the ride out of drop mode and makes it into more of an observation tower, slowly rising riders up so they can spin around and see the area below all the Christmas lights and stuff, and then slowly bringing them back down to earth. So I really do find it very odd that Busch Gardens is removing this attraction altogether, and it's very interesting to me that both Busch Gardens parks have issues with their drop towers. Obviously Falcon's Fury at Busch Gardens Tampa has had a lot of issues. Mock Tower, you really don't hear about it as much of if it's having issues or not, but apparently there's a reason why Busch Gardens Williamsburg wants to tear it down. And kudos to bgwfans.com, because they're always on top of all the news and rumors out of Busch Gardens. And they've been saying this for a few months now that Mock Tower's days are numbered. So it really does appear like the park is going to be removing Mock Tower after all, which leads us to the big question. What does the park plan to do to replace the attraction? Because the ride is located in the prime real estate in the Germany area of the park, and it's up on the hill. So here's what I think. Busch Gardens Williamsburg obviously could use a tower ride. And what about a Star Flyer? Now this attraction is by far one of the most popular theme park attractions in the world, and we see them popping up at pretty much every major park and small park around. So with having a drop tower get removed and adding a Star Flyer, would that do well for Busch Gardens? I personally think it would. I feel like more people would ride a Star Flyer over the drop tower, and reliability wise, they're probably going to have better uptime on it. So just a thought, but I definitely see a 250 to maybe 300 foot tall Star Flyer if the park could get it approved, built in this area, and maybe open it in 2024 or 2025. Because obviously I believe 2024 is going to be the year that we need to keep an eye out for the next major coaster that is going to be going in the Drachenfire area of the park. And I made a great video about what type of coaster that could be, and you can find the link for that in this video's description. But I do know it's going to be over 200 feet tall at this point, so it sounds like it could be the best coaster in the park once it gets announced. Let's speculate a little bit. Just what if Busch Gardens Williamsburg would add the world's tallest drop tower to replace Mock Tower? Now I know it's crazy, but just imagine the views that you would get of like the Williamsburg area and the bay off in the distance of all the water and everything else you can see if Busch Gardens Williamsburg would buy the Orlando Freefall from Icon Park and relocate it to Williamsburg. Now let's get one thing straight here. This is not a prediction. This is me just rambling what my thought is, a potentially speculation. It's not a rumor, it's nothing, it's not even a prediction, it's just me, what if, right? So let's just play if the park could get it approved, would it make sense? Because we do know that the drop tower down in Orlando will get relocated and it's going to reopen at some park, somewhere, sometime. So it's just a matter of when and where. So it's definitely possible. Now, would SeaWorld parks really do that? I highly doubt it, but you never know. With that said, what are your predictions for Mock Tower? Do you think it's going to get removed? And what type of attraction do you think Busch Gardens Williamsburg will replace it with? And if you really want to get engaged with me, tell me about my speculation about the Orlando Free Fall getting relocated to Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Again, not a prediction, but just speculation. I would love to know your thoughts. I don't see it happening, but I can have wishful thoughts, right? With that said, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.